We're continuing our series on financial literacy with Synergy Credit Union. And today, once again, we have back with us Brianna and Amberly. Brianna and Amberly, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about PIN numbers. And I know that some people think it's okay to, give your bank card to your significant other and, however that happens to work, but obviously not a great idea for a lot of the time. So the first thing we're going to talk about is if you happen to give your PIN to someone, what are you really giving them access to?
So by giving your PIN out to someone, you're really giving them access to your full bank account. When they have access to this PIN, they can spend either the full amount in your checking account or your daily card limit, whichever is less in value. And it's also important to note that when you signed up for your card, you signed a PIN agreement, and it actually states that your PIN is to be kept confidential. So by giving it to somebody, it's actually going against that original agreement.
Okay, and Amberly, I'll ask you then, is it okay to give the joint account holder the PIN number if they have access to the account anyway? So your husband, wives, that's kind of a situation?
No, it's really never okay to give out your PIN. Even if the person you're giving the PIN to is joint on your account, the PIN is individual to your name. So think of it this way. If you file your taxes together, you don't share social insurance numbers. Your PIN is the same idea. You have an individual PIN number for yourself. So this is done for your protection. At any point now or in the future, if you decide to have a separate account solely in your name, that person that's joint with you that you gave the PIN to will have access to the account that you have solely in your name. So similar for your online banking. You want to keep your passwords and your login information solely for you, as it is assigned to your name and you.
Okay, it makes sense when you put it that way. Also, if I can't share the PIN like with your spouse, your child, what is the best way to get them to pick something up for you?
So cash is always a really great option, but I know in today's digital world, a lot of people don't carry cash, but also with it being a digital society, it's easier now than ever really to transfer money to somebody. So if you would like someone to pick something up for you, you can either e-transfer them. Oftentimes, if you both bank at the same financial institution, you could do a direct transfer right to their account as long as you know their account number. Both of these are really safe and secure as well, and just great options to make it fast, easy, and convenient for you. Also, though, I like to think of it like this. If your 16-year-old was headed out to the grocery store and you needed them to pick some milk up for you, would you send them with your whole wallet that has a couple $100s and all of your cards and ID in it, or would you just pull out a $20 bill for them? I know most people, no matter how much you trust your child, probably wouldn't send them with their whole wallet. So it's great to think of your PIN in that same way. Keep it nice and confidential and secure.
Okay, and so the next question is, if you're in a situation where you can't complete your own banking, but you need to give your PIN to a trusted family member to help out, what is the best way to deal with that?
Well, in this event, it is a very, very serious thing. There are many options other than giving out your individual PIN to somebody. Some of these options may include setting up a legal power of attorney or setting up your bills to be paid electronically on their own. Things like this can be done automatically and they're easy to set up. So in this case, each situation is individual. It's best to just see one of our advisors and we'll make a plan for you.
Okay, and so people obviously get to choose their PIN numbers all the time. What is a good or a bad PIN to use?
The best thing that I like to keep in mind when selecting a PIN is just make sure that it's not something that anybody could guess. So to start out with, don't use something such as 1234 or 5555 because those are super common and can be guessed by anybody. But it's also really important to keep friendly fraud in mind. Friendly fraud, I think, is a lot more common than a lot of people think. And what it really means is fraud done by somebody that you are close with or that you know personally. So when selecting a PIN, you want to make it something that somebody who knows you wouldn't guess either. So don't pick something such as your birthday or an anniversary date. I do have a few tricks that I like to use when thinking of a PIN. One method is to think of a word. If we think of an old school phone, numbers 2 through 9 all have letters associated with them. So if you think of a 4-letter word that you can remember and line it up with the numbers that would associate with the letters, that might be easier for you to remember. So just for example, the word lake would equal out to 5253. Lake is a lot easier to remember, and then you just have to figure out what they mean. Another option is a memorable address. So with an address, it's important not to use your current address, as this can be really easy for fraudsters to gain immediately. But maybe if you can think of something like your childhood best friend's address or a former workplace, if you remember either of those and they stand out to you, those would make great pins that likely nobody's going to guess.
Yeah, that's some really, really good ideas, actually, instead of, like you said, the 1, 2, 3, 4, which unfortunately is easy, so a lot of people do.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if someone has access to your PIN, Amberly, what should they do?
Well, if you have shared your PIN, it's best to just go into the branch and have it changed. Use some of Brianna's tips. You can take your debit card in to the branch, change it on the ATM if you're out of hours, or come right into the branch and somebody can help you with it. If your card has been lost or stolen, whether somebody has your PIN or not, it is important to report it stolen right away or lost, because there is that daily tap limit we can't forget about. It can be anywhere from $100 to $500 depending on what you have set up. So go to the branch.
All right, well, thank you guys again for joining me today. And if anybody's looking for information on this or any other financial literacy topics, how can they reach the branch, and what is the website if they want to even just start there?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can start by coming into any of our branches or giving us a call, or you can always find more information on our website. It's synergycu.ca and go to the Learn option.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, ladies, once again for joining me today.
Thanks, Stacey.
Thank you.